Did some smart lessons training with Mary Jane, but I'm back this week, so it's okay. We're doing some Patron importing training today. Okay, so that'll Hey guys, Donald here. Welcome back to another new admin training. Last week, if you tuned in, you would have seen we did some smart lessons training with Mary Jane, but I'm back this week, so it's okay. We're doing some Patron importing training today. Okay, so that'll be from A, adding patrons one by one into SmartSuite, or B, using our Smart Patron import to do a bulk Patron import. Alrighty, let's get into it. So, as I said in the intro, there are two ways to add patrons to SmartSuite. The first is manually adding them via the patron management page. Okay, that's where you'll add patron one by one. The second is our patron import, which you will use a CSV file that you've extracted from your admin system, where you can bulk import all patrons at the same time. Okay, so first we'll go through the manual process. From your menu, patron management. Now there are a few fields that must be filled out when adding a patron by the manual process, and that follows on to the patron import as well. So when you first load up patron management, it'll load up the information for the patron you're logged in as. Okay, so I'm logged in as Mary Jane because I stole her computer. And you can see here all her information is here. Okay, so always whenever you're adding a patron, make sure you don't edit these fields. Always come down to the right where it says new, click on the new button. Okay, you'll get a pop-up just saying that any unsaved fields won't be saved, so make sure you save it before you make any more changes. If you've just loaded it up, that's fine to just click OK. Alright, you can see here patron ID is grayed out. That's because the system will give it a patron ID after you've created the patron. Okay, so you can ignore the very first field. The fields you do need to fill out are the barcode. Okay, so you'll scan in the barcode that you have for them. Some sites like to use their student ID in that field as well, so it's totally up to you guys on what you want to put in there. First name, it's always going to be patron's first name. Surname, same thing. Okay, your class grade, which is the year level. From the drop down, select what year they're in. Okay, it's very important that you do select this because it's where it will grab the patron loan limits from. Room is their homeroom, so year 10, homeroom's 10A. Site is always going to be the school, so you can always leave that blank, leave that filled out, sorry, because you're not going to have more than one site there. Security, again, will be taken from the classification. So once we save that, it'll populate if there is a security set on the classification of grade 10. Okay, you can add further information if you like, but the minimum fields that we need filled out are barcode, first name, surname, class grade, and room. Okay. If you wanted to, you can add an email. Okay, make sure it's a valid email address. This is not a valid email address. Okay, you can add any other information that you want as well. Okay, once I've filled out this information, on the right hand side you have can borrow. Okay, this simply allows the patron to borrow in circulation. So if it's disabled and you scan their barcode or type in their name in circulation, you'll get a validation that appears and says that they aren't allowed to borrow. Okay, so I'll make sure I enable that. Go down to the save button and hit save. Alrighty, new patron is created. Close that little pop-up. Now this patron is ready to circulate. So if I copy out the barcode, I'll go to circulation, and I scan in or paste the barcode, ready to be loaned items. Okay, so that's how easy it is to manually add a patron. Just don't forget, you do need to fill out those mandatory fields, which again are the barcode, first name, surname, class grade, which is their year level, and homeroom, which is their specified class. All right. So now that we've done that, we want to talk about bulk adding patrons to SmartSuite. So at the start of the year, you have 30 to 40 new patrons. Let's go about adding them all at once. Again, from your menu, patron, smart patron import. Alrighty, from this page, a few options you have to select from. Your delimiter. Okay, we have two options, comma and tab delimiter. That just is asking you what separates the fields in your CSV file. By default, it's always a comma delimited, but if you get a CSV file with tab delimited spaces, then you have the option to select from there. But normally they'll come through as a comma delimited CSV. You have a has header field here. This just means if your CSV file contains a header, so at the start of each line says, say, first name, surname, so on, then make sure this is ticked. If it does not have a header, simply unclick that and away you go. Okay, so my CSV file does have a header, so I will leave that ticked. Then you've got your upload file button. Find where your file is saved. Mine is inside Patron imports. Okay, and here is my CSV file. Alrighty, so you can see a few colors here. Right, anything marked as green means the system has seen the header, which you can see here at the top of each field. Student ID, first name, surname, homeroom, classification, address, so on. Okay. The system will automatically try and map the fields together for you. Okay, so if student ID is your header, okay, it'll try and match it to whatever it can in the system. Okay, so for this one, it's matched it to the external ID. All right. Now I know for a fact that this student ID is also the barcode. Okay, so all I have to do is click on this field. It drops down, has a list for me to select from. And you notice there's a tick box on each one. Okay, so I know that's the barcode as well. So I'm going to tick that as barcode. All right. I can then go across and see any other fields. Okay, you can see this here. It hasn't picked up the header because the header is spelt incorrectly. Okay, but I can click on here. I can type what the field is. Classification, which is their year level. Okay, click on the drop down. It's gone yellow, meaning a change has been made. I can scroll further across and double check that all these are correct. Street, that is correct. Suburb, correct. And again, state, correct. So I'm happy with this. Okay. I can also change the merge by. Okay, the merge by is located up the top here. Okay, and the merge by means it will search the database for what we have selected, which is barcode. Okay, So I've said this very first field is barcode, so it's going to search the database for this number. Okay, if it can find a patron with that number, it means it's going to merge those two together. Okay, if I know for in fact these are new students, they don't exist with this number as the barcode, it'll create new patrons for me. Okay, so with this, I'm going to leave it as barcode, but you do have a few other options to select from. Email, external ID, full name, which is first and last name, and the username field. Okay, so I'm going to leave it as barcode. Okay, once I'm happy with the merge by and the auto mapping, I can load more results if I wanted to. The CSV file only has 3 patrons, so that will be pointless for me to click the button. But if you had, say, your 500 students, you can go through, double check that they're all correct by clicking the load more. It'll list more out, and you can go through them there. Once you're completely happy, hit next step. This gives you a preview. Okay, so because it can't find these barcodes in the system already, it's going to create new patrons for me. All right. If I was to go back, let's see if I merge it by full name, which is the first and surname. Hit next step. Right, so you can automatically see it's different. It's found that there's already a Donald Hobson Tom, there's already an Ishan Fernando, and there's already a Robert Van Dyken. Okay, what it's telling me is it's going to update these patrons. So it's not creating a new patron, it's overriding the existing patron. It tells you what the current value is. So for this, my barcode is Donald Test. It's going to update it to this number. Okay, there is no external ID on the current patron, but it's going to change it to this number. Okay, I'm currently in 10A as a homeroom. It's going to change me to 10F because that's what the CSV file says. It's going to update my street to 15 Awesome Guy Street, suburb Awesome, state Victoria. Okay, so this is a very important page to keep an eye on to make sure that the information that it's showing and what it's going to change to is correct. All right, so if I see that and I say, yes, that's perfect, I'm very happy with that, I've got the Perform Changes button on the bottom right. If I hit that, okay, it requires a security code, and the security code is sent to your mailbox. Okay, it is also emailed to you. So if I hit menu, mailbox, right click, open a new tab, always open it in a new tab. Okay, very first option here is my security import code. All I have to do is double click that, right click, copy, go back to my original tab, right click, paste, hit confirm. Tells you this import cannot be undone. Are you really sure you want to perform the import? Yes, I am. Hit OK, and it'll start the import for you. All right, you can see Patron import's complete. If you did run into some issues during the Patron import, say it created duplicate patrons, you would get a notification on your left here. You can see here mine says all validations passed, meaning the import went through with no issues whatsoever. But if there were issues, it would have a red wording here. You could click on that and it will show you what has gone wrong. You can then fix that up in Patron management, come back, hit recheck on the right here. It'll run that same import validation script. Okay, if everything was perfect, it'll come through with the all validations pass. You can also import another file. So if you've just done your students, you want to do your teachers, hit that import another file, right, and it just starts the process all over again. All right, So that's how easy it is to import a CSV file. Okay, again, please note that there are minimum fields that are required to run a Patron import, and it's the same fields as adding a Patron manually. Okay, so again, that is your barcode, first name, surname, classification, which is their year level, and homeroom. Okay, so they're the 5 fields we always need in the CSV file to have that CSV file run through. Well, as always, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of the videos that are coming up. Next week we have Mary Jane back with some more Smart Lessons training. Again, we really appreciate you guys stopping by and learning more. Alright, cheers guys.